Keep going.
It's your loop, buddy. I have a big brain just like you, so let's unify our brain capacities to work something out here, okay? Alright, so I think you need to go back to the guide wheel system because the paving, paving a tunnel and then running regular cars in it at high speeds brings with it the problem of high tire wear, which will significantly drive up maintenance costs and it will be generally an inconvenience, which we don't want. So instead, let's stick with the guideways, I would say. I can see that the sleds and the pods have their own wheels and they're kind of like guided on one rail, but I have a better idea. How about we have a double innovative reinforced steel?
I was just thinking the same thing. How about we take those? You know how they have like a box? Okay, I got like a really crazy idea. Are you ready for this? We build the tunnels, right? You know how there's like a tunnel, you could just like fucking have those like carrier ones that's exactly the same. You take a couple of those and then you strap them all behind one another, okay? You put like, a 6-person cabin, another 6-person cabin, another 6-person cabin. And then you make those go for 200, if not even faster than that, 200 miles an hour.
Better idea. How about we have a double innovative reinforced steel and concrete high-tech guideway to guide the pods, and instead of having rubber wheels on them, we can put steel wheels on them so they can actually glide on these high-tech dual steel guideways. Steel is much more durable and will be able to achieve much smoother rides at much lower maintenance costs. And so now let's talk about the layout of the whole system. Elon, you have proposed a lot of small elevators all over the city, but I would say within the cities there are
absolutely zero people have thought about this disruptive, innovative technology, so obviously it's too far. We would never be able to have that. Don't tell me that there's like these fictional countries like, what is it called? Japan? That rely heavily on the metro? What? I don't know what that is. I just like, it's not a real country. I live in America. What is that? Like a district of Oklahoma or something? I don't get it. Is there like a movie about it or something? Maybe then I would know.
Hey, what do you think about the Canadian
what you're talking about?
Caught in China and sent to 11 years.
Japan?
distinct areas where a lot of people want to go. So I say let's try and concentrate the exits in these areas.
Let's dig up our cities. It will never work. What? First of all, it doesn't have to just be a subway. I don't know if you're joking about that, by the way. The funny thing about these I feel like it's called a train. I want to call it a train. I don't know what it is, but it's just coming to me now, the word. Disruptive. Funny thing about those things is like they can go above the ground as well. Fucking crazy, I know. I saw it in a movie one time about this fictional country called Japan.
Now the car elevators are a very nice idea, however, those are multiple points of failure on your system, meaning more chance for mistakes, breakdowns, etc. So what if we didn't actually bring the vehicle to the surface, but we take the people down on these AI-controlled, automated, self-moving hyperstairs, I call them. Alright, so now people are being whisked down to the high-tech passenger pods in these cluster stations on the hyperstairs. So this is already very good and very high-tech. However, there's one last thing that I don't like. It's that every single pod has its own engine and all the machinery associated with it. So why don't we connect the pods into one hyperpod that has one or two big engines, which is a much better economy of scale. Also, I would advise building the first loop systems in very congested, sort of very high demand areas. This would be the easiest solution, to take an area where a lot of people want to go from one definite area to another definite area. Meaning that our long hyperpods could go back and forth
I feel like this just wouldn't work.
The whole day, just in one pair of tunnels.
Also, I literally ruined the video by taking the exact same joke that he just made, but doing it by pausing the video. I feel kind of bad now. This is the first time I feel bad that I like paused and then made a joke. Because I guess the rest of this entire fucking video was the same joke.
Instead of having like 10, 12, 30. And on this congested, high-demand fixed route, they could thus transport a shit ton of people. And for added comfort and for more futuristic interior design, we could have the pods making up the hyperpod connect into each other physically so that you can walk from one end into the other like a big pipe. And since this is a fixed route, instead of batteries, we could have a third rail where the whole machinery could draw power from. I came up with this all by myself, inspired by Elon's genius. I call it the Epic 420 Thanos Keanu Reeves Ultra line. Now you might be asking, hang on a second,
This guy's awesome, dude.
where are the private cars in this system? I mean, we have the pods, but where do our Teslas and other electric cars fit in? And I am very glad you asked. In major cities, in very congested areas, space is at a premium. We simply cannot afford to bring everyone's cars in, so why not leave the car on the outskirts in a big, convenient mega parking lot right next to the station? From the parking lot, you could be transported down to the station in immense comfort on the aforementioned AI-controlled auto stairs. And if your destination is not near a loop station, the aforementioned stairs could take you up to the surface, where you could transition in extreme comfort to a surface pod. These surface pods have rubber wheels, 4 of them, or even more perhaps, and are designed to transport you to destinations which are a bit more farther away from tunnels. Hell, we could even put these dual reinforced steel hyper guideways on the streets, maybe sink them even in the asphalt so they're passable, and hook multiple pods together and so that they can travel on the streets in dedicated lanes. That way we achieve a smooth and fast ride and we don't even have to tunnel. And here's the best part. Once the system grows dense enough, you don't even need a personal car anymore. And isn't that just awesome? No more sitting in traffic jams, no more driving around looking for parking lots. The system will just take you from point A to point B without having to drag 2 tons of metal and plastic with you.
This guy's crazy. I personally love the freedom of being able to drive on shit roads with my fucking vehicle that destroys the environment when I roll coal. That way, how else will people know how fucking tiny my pee-pee is, okay? I need people to know how tiny my pee-pee is. I have a King Rancher, brother. Seems like a lot to be thankful for today. Thankful for the top of the hour ad break. Thankful for the, subscriptions that you can use to avoid the ad break, like a $5 a month subscription or a Twitch Prime, which is free. Thankful for the ad blocker or the VPN. You can also use, but Twitch Prime is free, so that's one way to do it. Here's a 1-minute ad break now. And better yet, I'm thankful for the card lobby. Okay, thankful for the automotive industry for coming in and making sure that at the peak of railways that were connecting the entire country, our wonderful factory owners and capital owners decided that no, America should be a symbol of prosperity and individualism. Yes, I did say automotive. Like automotive. Listen, brother, I don't want to be on a goddamn train if it ain't got a cab that I can put my various accoutrements on.
Which would be, of course, your personal car. So yeah, Elon, call me. I'm open for investment proposals. I'm ready to share in your wealth, and I am ready to receive sponsorship money and interview requests from
rolling coal isn't bad for Dubai, or bad for the environment. Wait, so he has another one?
You might have heard about the Boring Company's latest project, the Las Vegas Loop, which is 3 taxi stands under a convention center connected by a 2-way tunnel where we can drive sports cars.
This dude has done so many videos on the Hyperloop, dude. Oh my god, he fucking hates the Hyperloop.
Real fast. But have you also heard about Elon Musk's other project? It's called the Dugout Loop, and incredibly, it's even stupider than the Las Vegas Loop. It was already bad enough to...
Oh, this guy hates Elon Musk. I love him.
...build tunnels for Tesla cars that operate as taxis, but wait until you get a load of this shit. So they wanted to connect the Vermont Sunset Metro station with Dodger Stadium. Having been built in the 60s, the stadium of course has no good public transportation connection because, you know, cars. And so the parking lot of the stadium is more than 12 times the size of the actual stadium. When I first saw this photo, I thought this was some kind of 3D render with some like low-res terrain textures around the stadium. And then I saw that it's just a parking lot. It's like, holy shit, like this looks bad. And so let's talk about urban planning, the place where you should actually start when you want to fix traffic issues instead of going with these
How dare you?
flashy bullshit projects. In front of you, you can see the Great Strahovski Stadium of Prague, which is about 2 times the size of Dodger Stadium. And next to it, there are 3 other stadiums, actually, 2 mid-sized and 1 smaller. Now, Strahovski is an absolute fucking monster. It can accommodate 250,000 people, of which 56,000 seated, which also happens to be the total capacity of Dodger Stadium. And next to it is the Evgeny Roshitského Stadium, with a capacity of 19,000 people. So these are the available parking areas around the stadiums, marked with red. Now, having just seen that disaster show around the Dodger Stadium, you might ask, how the fuck is this possible? And the answer is, of course, good public transportation.
I was about to say, that's the fucking country with public transportation. What do you mean? It's fucking entirely different than the United States of America, a country that has really horrible public transportation.
Now, the metro lines don't actually stop at the stadium. As you can see, the green and the yellow metros actually give a wide berth to the stadium itself. So how do people get to the matches? By buses and trams that all stop next to or near the stadiums. And there's also a cable car, actually. And I'm telling you all this to show you that even the largest stadium in the world, plus 3 other stadiums around it, could be served by adjacent tram and bus lines. You know, it's not like there's a metro line stopping underneath the stadium or something. Instead, what you do is get off at the tram station and walk over to the stadium. Or, you know, just take a bus. So with this in mind, let's return to Dodger Stadium. The boring company wanted to start digging from the stadium's parking lot to the Vermont Sunset Station underneath the road, and neatly following its route because of public right-of-way, otherwise they would need to acquire costly easements if they would be tunneling under private property. So this is a picture of the western terminus of the Dugout Loop. Now, this is the entire station. This is not part of it, this is the whole thing. Now, that being said, can you see what the problem is? I'm gonna leave you a few seconds. Have you noticed? The whole system has one tunnel. A single one-way tunnel connecting the metro line and the station.
Dude, what is going on?
1 year
Why?
with my dad.
Why does anybody let him get away with anything?
Stadium parking lot. So, how is this system supposed to operate? Let's take a look. They plan on running these autonomous electric pods in them, capable of transporting 16 people each. Now, for comparison, that is almost 20% of a regular bus and around 10% of an articulated bus. So right off the bat, we got terrible efficiency. And this is called economy of scale. It's much more economical and environmentally friendly to have one big motor transport a lot of people at the same time than to have lots of smaller motors transporting smaller quantities of people.
Dude, it really fucking pisses me off that Elon Musk gets away with it. Especially because, like, he's not even fucking charismatic. It's literally just money, okay? Like, he is an extremely motivated con man who has always been able to fail upwards in a lot of instances, thankfully, because of the government subsidies that he gets. But he's, like, not even fucking charismatic. At least con men in movies that I loved when I was growing up watching were the charismatic. They were hot, you know? They would dress well, and they would be, like, smooth talkers. Whereas Elon Musk is literally like, this is the cyber truck, heckin' bacon epic style, and then everyone's like, Pog! Fucking Pog! I'm fucking creaming my pants right now to the fucking moon, Elon! Elon, please call out my cryptocurrency! Elon! I got life insurance from my parents and I fucking murdered them and then I put all the money on the cryptocurrency. Elon! Say anal doge one time! Sorry.
So here the logical solution would be to increase the bot's capacity. But then
Everyone I work with thinks he's a fucking genius. You must not work with a lot of engineers then.
that can't be done. That's impossible. You see, transporting
Wait.
smaller quantities of people. So here the logical solution would be to increase the bot's capacity. But that can't be done. That's impossible. You see, these are pods, not a minibus. So yeah, this is a problem you notice with a lot of these futuristic bullshit projects. It's not buses or trains for the sake of not being buses or trains. They're pods. But I'm just gonna call
Bro. Turks are the fucking king of innovation, dude. Okay? Buses used to be really fucking difficult to navigate through, cities. So guess what? They developed minibus, i.e. a minibus, or dolmuş, which means it's full. That's what that means. Dolmuş literally means, oh, it's full.
Love you, Ajan. 2 hearts.
Okay? Modern problems require modern solutions. Building out a fucking complex railway system and a subway station is difficult. So you know what Turkish politicians decided to do? They said, oh, we're going to put a bus on that. And we're going to call it, we're going to put a bus on it, but like a fucking metro station, it's going to go on a line. What will we call it? Now, you might have guessed it by now because I'm going off the same meme here. It's called a metro bus. That's right. Innovation. Yep. That's what we did in Istanbul. Elon Musk, come to Türkiye. Abi İngilizceni nasıl böyle geliştirdin? Dil dile değmeden dil öğrenilmez kardeş. Değdirdik.
You're
Bilmem
just
anlatabiliyor
jealous of
muyum?
Elon Musk SMH. Don't try and hide it. Bat chest.
A trolley, a streetcar, not exactly a fucking innovation, brother. Dude, that's the joke, dude. I'm making a joke.
17 months of brain smoothing.
That's literally the joke. The joke is that they were like, yeah, we don't want to build a fucking railway. We can't do a metro station, so we're just going to put a bus on it. Just slap a bus on it and call it Metro Bus. At least they have fucking public transportation in Istanbul, though, so. Financial and corruption allegations. The purchase of the Phileas buses was widely criticized in the media as a waste of resources. In 2007, each Phileas bus cost 1.2 million euros, and a total of 63 million euros was paid by IETT to acquire 50 of them. In contrast, Mercedes-Benz capacity only cost 300,000 euros and proved to be much more useful than the Metro bus. A report to the ministry implicating high-ranking IETT officials, including Mehmet Öztürk, former president, indicated that the 63 million euro purchase was made without a tender.
Okay.
Anyway, let's keep going.
all the dugout loop pods minibuses because that's what they are. And you might think if these vehicles have like a fixed route, basically a single line between
No, we have articulated buses too.
Yo, 10 months
Articulated
already?
buses don't
That's crazy, Hassan.
work as well. Of course we have articulated buses in Turkey. Are you fucking crazy? What do you think that's like profound innovation for European countries? No, they have it in Turkey too. The reason why they have a minibus is because an articulated bus can't go through some of the side roads. Bendy buses. All right, let's keep going.
Point A and point
That shit's bussing.
B, they would be running on rails. Because, that's the most efficient way of running fixed route things from point A to point B with minimal friction. But nope, the tunnel will be paved and the minibuses will have rubber wheels. I wonder why they just don't sink some rails into the asphalt, like tram tracks, for example, and then have these vehicles have two modes, which is a technology we do have and use. These are road vehicles that can change between rubber wheels and steel wheels. So if the Boring Company didn't want to mess with stuff that is beyond its expertise, like switches, for example, they could just build a long straight tunnel with some tram tracks sunk into the asphalt, and at the beginning and the end, the vehicles just quickly switch between their wheels. But first off, that would look too much like a train, which we can't have, of course. And second, inconvenient questions might arise, such as, okay, why don't we run like a tram in it instead? Or a light metro or something. Yeah, that sounds good. So then, why are we bothering with these minibuses again? Wait, what? No, shut up. The Emperor's clothes are beautiful. It's just that stupid people can't see them. So the trip time between the metro stop and the stadium parking lot will be just under 4 minutes, according to the website. And this will be achieved by these minibuses traveling at up to 150 miles per hour, which is 240 kilometers per hour, on this stretch of 3.6 miles, or 5.8 kilometers. Now the problem is, this doesn't seem to be possible, because the curves are just too goddamn narrow. And if you look at this curve in normal Illinois, thanks for the idea, Do Not Eat, this thing was designed for traffic going 100 miles per hour. Which is only 2/3 of what the Boring Company wants to do with the Dugout Loop. So here it is overlaid on the Dugout Loop's route. So as you can see, the Dugout Loop's proposed route would not work with even 100 miles per hour, much less with 150. But putting aside all of that, there's a second problem, namely tire wear. If you don't want too much tire wear, you have to avoid two things: high speeds and frequent acceleration and deceleration, which is incidentally what these minibuses would do. I'm glad that the Boring Company is all about zero emissions, but this noble goal is kind of overshadowed if you're producing tons of rubber waste every month. Man, if only there was a solution. But believe it or not, what you've heard so far is not the stupidest part of this project. So let's move on to how the Boring Company actually plans to operate this thing. Oh boy. So as I said before, the metro stop and the parking lot of the stadium will be...
How does this not trigger you, dude? Like, it literally, when you see Elon Musk, how do you not get fucking mad at everything he does?
Connected by a single...
He is the human manifestation of, like, that VC garbage mentality. Silicon Valley in human form, dude. Shit-ass, stale-ass fucking memes. Epic Reddit memes. And, like, horrible ideas that are repackaged as, like, new and innovative.
Tunnel. And to use it, you need to buy a ticket at the ticket office or in an app, get to the station at the specified
really
time,
triggers the fuck
get
out of
transported to the stadium, watch the match, and then go back down to the Dugout Loop, which will then take you back to the metro stop. As they write on their website, Dugout Loop operation during games and special events will be event-specific. Generally, transportation from the western terminus to Dodger Stadium will begin prior to event start times. Transport from Dodger Stadium to the western terminus will generally commence sometime following the start of the event. Which is, it's a system where... What? So basically Elon Musk invented a shitty route taxi, and he put a fucking tunnel over it for some reason. So, okay, so... Since this is an extremely time-specific service, meaning it only runs in very, very specific times, why don't we just ditch the tunnel idea? Yeah, so let's have these pods run on the surface, make them bigger, and so voila. Let's call it the Dodger Stadium Express. Now some of you might be saying, hang on a second, the whole point of the Dugout Loop is that it's a fast, dedicated lane system. To which I say, let's take one of the 5 lanes of the road leading to the stadium and convert 1 or 2 into a bus lane for the time of the event.
Oh, dude. Okay, dude. I mean, he's crazy, this guy.
And if you want to make it really fast, we can employ this technology that every Western European city already employs, called automatic green wave for buses. Right, so let's move on to capacity. The Boring Company website says, initially, Dugout Loop will be limited to approximately 1,400 people, approximately 2.5% of stadium capacity per.
Elon had a threesome with Cara Delevingne and Umber Turd. Who the fuck is Umber Turd? And are you fucking kidding me? Elon Musk had a threesome with Cara Delevingne? Shut up. Is that real? That makes me so sad. Oh my fucking god. I bet she did though. What? Wait, hold on. Oh god. Oh, Elon Musk denies threesome with Amber Heard and Cara Delevingne. What? With his ex Amber Heard and model Cara Delevingne, the Tesla billionaire gave an exclusive statement to Page 6 after astonishing new claims.
Poggies.
Cara and I are friends, but we've never been intimate. She would confirm this. Dude, honestly, he probably, you know what? He probably said, how is your quarantine going? Hopefully it was eventful. And then Kat was like, oh my god. Please, you're a billionaire. I would love to have sex with you. You're like modern day Tony Stark. That's what happened. And he's like, oh, that's La Epic Bacon. Come over to my millionaire mansion. To my billionaire mansion. Hey, I will let you ride in artificial intelligent Tesla.
Elon bad, am I right?
Oh my god, I'm creaming. I haven't been this excited since I've seen jellied eels. My fanny is fluttering. Elon. I do not know what fanny flutter is.
per event. Based on city and community feedback, it could be possible to increase ridership per game to 2,800 per game or event, 5% of stadium capacity. Between games and events, Dugout Loop.
Okay, Elon's like, I saw your video on Architectural Digest. You had a vagine tunnel.
Let's go.
It's kind of similar to what I want to do with Hyperloops. But we put pods in.
Would transport 250,000 people per year. Wait, between games? So they actually do want to use this as like normal public transportation outside of events. Okay, so 250,000 people per year. This might sound a lot actually, but as a European, I have to say like this number is nothing. Like this is nothing. This is shit. You don't have anything. This is not public transportation. And to illustrate this point, let's look at the closest thing I know to the Dugout Loop in Europe. I mean, it sounds funny, but
Maybe the ideas existed before as well, but Elon put it on the map and shouldn't be disregarded. Just like Connor put MMA on the map, it existed before, but they made it mainstream and attractive. No, you're totally right. Like, literally 0 people were thinking about the subway before Elon Musk put it on the map. Or tunnels in general, actually. It's pretty cool that Elon Musk invented tunnels in 2017 when he did a epic Bacon Reddit thread. Kind of wild, dude. You're right. He did popularize it. Like, tunnels, no one was using them. No one knew. People forget that before Elon Musk, many were afraid to be inside of tunnels. Yeah. It's a natural fear that people have, like.
it's actually kind of similar. And it's the Budapest M1 metro line. Or
What about reusable rockets and electric cars? Yes, once again, reusable rockets and electric cars were not a thing before Elon Musk. Thank you for... The only thing Elon Musk unironically revolutionized is having an auto dealership that also is directly like having your own auto dealership. That's it. He disrupted the insane fucking control that auto dealerships have over individual states. That is unironically the one singular thing that Elon Musk did. That's pretty much it. Okay, bro, no need to roast me that hard. I'm just stating my opinion, man. Dude, do you understand why your opinion is kind of silly, though? Like, do you get it? Like, I'm making fun of you because, I mean, there's a reason for why I'm making fun of you. Like, Elon Musk didn't invent any of those things. Elon Musk doesn't really invent anything regardless, but, like, he certainly did not invent any of those things. And he didn't even fucking popularize it. You just think that he did. Because, unfortunately, that's how it works. Elon Musk is very, very, very good at marketing himself. He's very good. Elon invented banks with PayPal. Oh, man. The loop stuff is absolute trash, but his e-cars, his electric vehicles, and rockets are pretty much popularized. Elon Musk's rocket technology is unfortunately a problem that the federal government should be dealing with, but we've outsourced it to fucking SpaceX. I wish it was exclusively in the hands of JPL, but we don't live in a world where NASA still controls all of the space travel. It's also still heavily subsidized by the government. So let me just like stop you right there. You know, not a single thing about rockets at all. It's literally just
51 months. Wow.
NASA scientists that he hired that are still continuing the government subsidized research to build a reusable rocket. Dude, what are you talking about? You aren't an aerospace engineer? Yeah, no shit. And neither is Elon Musk, dumbass. What the fuck are you talking about? Don't make me fucking call my aerospace engineer that I have literally on speed dial. Okay? To win this argument. Because I don't know what the fuck he's doing right now, but he'll be very pissed if I bring him over here because he's probably building some shit in my garage at the moment.
Milleniumi föld alatti vasút, built during the late 19th century and thus was the first electrified metro service on the continent. It was a small, electric, underground, environmentally friendly express service going just underneath the Andrássy Avenue from the city center all the way to the giant park that's behind Hero Square. So what they did was they actually dug out the road, built the tunnels and then filled it back up. It took 2 years to complete and it's operational to this day. Originally they ran these small Siemens carriages on it, which I guess were the pods of the era. And apparently one of the original cars is today in the Seashore Trolley Museum in Kennebunkport, Maine. Which, you know, that's cool. These metro cars were later replaced by trains of Hungarian production, which were higher in capacity, but the system itself is still tiny. This is by no means a regular metro service. It's a little baby line. And yet, this thing transports 80,000 passengers on each workday. And if we assume that the number of passengers is only half on weekends, then this tiny toy metro transports 25,120,000 passengers each year. And so this is what the passenger numbers look like when I put them on a graph. Compared to the toy metro, the dugout loop is barely a statistical error. And if we compare this to a normal metro line like the M3, and using the same formula, we get this graph. I'm showing you this just for the sake of perspective. The dugout loop is nothing. It does nothing. It serves no one. It doesn't even exist when compared to like normal, well-designed systems. And you might be saying, hey, it's a bit unfair to compare the dugout loop to the M3 metro, and yes, it is.
Isn't SpaceX heavily relied on already existing NASA concepts and research, but currently leeching off government funds that should have gone to NASA? Yes, that's literally, you are describing nearly the entirety of space travel. That is precisely what is going on in every fucking company that engages in it, whether it's Jeff Bezos' personal pet project because he wanted to go to space before everybody else, or Elon Musk with SpaceX. Was it Blue Origin or whatever the fuck Jeff Bezos had? It's all of it. All of it is that. Elon Musk sued Top
the
Gear.
first time I reviewed a Tesla, he sued me and lost, and then he appealed and lost that as well. You know, it was a hard-hitting review, but it was a fair one.
By the way, I think Elon. I'm sorry, people are gonna get mad at me for this too, but I think the Teslas are dog shit. Like, and I say this as someone who was very interested in buying a Tesla Model X because otherwise Susan Wojcicki will not give me a gold button when I inevitably reach 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So I was like, I have to buy a Tesla Model X. Like, it's something that many people don't know, but like YouTube literally will not give you a plaque. Like, they will ban you before you reach 1 million subs if you don't have one. So I was going to get one, and then I was in one, and I realized like, oh wow, this is pretty fucking shitty. Anyway, I mean, I'd still get a fucking Taycan though. If I could fit in one, I would buy a Taycan. I would buy a Porsche Taycan. They're fucking sick.
That original Tesla I didn't think was very good then, and I still don't now.
By the way, in 2008, Carlson said Tesla's Roadsters didn't seem to work, and he was fucking right. That's why Elon Musk lost that fucking battle.
God, they've come on. We have a Tesla Model X in the new series, and it's a lot of it's very impressive. Some of it's a bit dodgy, but a lot of it's very impressive. It's a really interesting new way of looking at what a car is. You know, there's a lot of stuff in that thing for a 9-year-old.
Yes, I know Tesla makes most of its money by selling green credits. They pump out as many poor built quality cars as soon as possible to make money off of green credits. I also listened to the 3-part series from the True Anon podcast. And yeah, by the way, if you fucking despise Elon Musk right now, oh my god. If you listen to their shit, dude, oh my lord. That's before we get to the fucking actual the labor union practices, the non-existent labor union practices that they engage in. Like the funniest one, I mean, we've talked about this before, like where they don't have like fucking safety lines in the factory because he doesn't like the color yellow. Like it's insane shit. It's like completely insane shit. Anyway, I want to see what the fuck he has to say.
And all men have a mental age of 9. I mean, you're sitting there, you're trying to, you know, you're not 9, but in there you're 9.
Wait, what?
And all men have a mental age of 9. I mean, you're sitting there, you're trying to, you know, you're not 9, but in there you're 9. We all are. We're all silly. And there's a lot of silly stuff in that car that appeals to the inner 9-year-old. I liked it.
Copium, bro, the Roadster, dude, it's gonna be so sick. Dude, isn't that great? It's literally like Donda and Elon Musk. Like, what will come first, dude? The Roadster or Donda? Elon Musk and Kanye West have a lot of similarities. This is actually blasphemy because, like, the difference is, like, Kanye West actually makes good shit, whereas Elon Musk simply does not. But they do have a lot of similarities, you know, taking advantage and utilizing, or rather exploiting other lesser known hardworking individuals that are truly innovative in their field. They have a good eye for that kind of talent, bringing them under their label or bringing them under, you know, Tesla or SpaceX and working them to the fucking bone. And I say this as a Kanye fan, don't get me wrong, because in my mind, the MAGA Kanye period, Jesus is King, never happened. So I refuse to think about those times because it never happened. And also both of them make you know, a lot of false promises. They have delusions of grandeur regularly. Farming Angry Elon Simp reacts. I'm attacking two of the fucking prime internet. I'm getting everyone, okay? I'm getting everyone with this. Like, you're either a fucking Kanye stan unconditionally or an Elon stan unconditionally. Both divorced dads. Both divorced dads. And when people think that people like Elon Musk are geniuses, even though they're entrepreneurs and market specialists, while I'm a developer and actually do work hard on the technology, yes, that is what's incredibly frustrating for someone like myself as well. Listen, I have relatives that work on, you know, space travel and planes and such, engineers, if you will. And I also get very frustrated when I see singular individuals getting credit for an entire team's work when they didn't even fucking touch it. Yes, both African Americans. True. That was funny. Good one. That's a good joke. Shit, that's good. That's good, dude. Oh my God, that's good. Wow. It's not a joke, Pago. I mean, it's literally not a joke. It is true, but also kind of funny. Don't you think it's good that Tesla made a first move that other companies are moving towards electric too now? Are we now unironically saying Tesla is the reason why other countries are other companies are making electric vehicles? Really? Like not a single. Are there people in this chat that think like Tesla is the first EV?
Hassan, can we get some gamba in the chat? I spent all my channel.
Dude, I think it's profound. I really do. I think it's profound that Elon Musk invented electricity. Like, it's pretty wild. I mean, think about it, dude. Guys, Tesla, Elon, Tesla, Elon, Nikola, Tesla. That's right.
Let's go.
Isn't that ironic that he named the company Tesla after buying it? Not even his own company, but also he's doing literally everything Nikola Tesla absolutely despised. Electric car. Weren't electric cars literally an earlier invention than the regular cars that we know and use? Before Elon Musk, we had to rub sticks together to make a fire. The idea that Elon Musk, a multi-billionaire, is trying to do something positive for anything or anyone other than making electric cars and nothing else is just pure insanity. He definitely made them popular, though. I like that we went all the way down to, like, he literally invented the subway and electric vehicles to now we're just basically saying, well, he made them popular, kind of, you know? Yeah, okay. I agree. He's a good marketer. But motherfuckers never talk about Elon as though he's a good marketer. They think he's, you know, Tony Stark IRL. And even then, it's like billions and billions and billions of dollars in
New Steve Jobs.
subsidies from the government that actually made Tesla possible, like a reality. If only the government would have ownership over the company and could, I don't know, unionize it like it's a public workplace, given the amount of sheer fucking dollary dues that the American government has put into fucking Tesla at a time when he was just basically fucking getting all of the deposits from the last people that were maybe, hopefully, copium one day going to receive a fucking roadster and building out the first ever cars when he was running out of money. I don't know. If only at a time when the government has bailed him out time and time again, we had a piece of ownership. Tesla is the 808s and heartbreaks of EV. It's funny. A lot of people are caught up with Elon Musk and are you know, they love Elon Musk until Elon Musk comes to their industry, their specific industry, or an area of their personal expertise, and only then do they realize, like, oh, this guy's a charlatan.
And Thomas Edison have
So
in common?
there
They
are
both
people who
got
are
the
like, I was a fan of
Tesla.
Elon Musk, but this whole fucking the microchip brain pig microchip thing, like, this is fucking the Neuralink, this is insane. Elon Musk has consistently, exclusively built a career out of failing upwards by over-promising and under-delivering over and over again with the hopes that his fucking psychopathic K-pop stan style fan base of actual
the
adults,
unsub
because that's the
button,
difference
Ken?
between K-pop is like not 14-year-old girls, actual neck-bearded tech blogger adults that fucking soy face every time Elon Musk is like, duh, yeah, I'm gonna make a car that also flies. Cara Delevingne, how are you? And then they're all like, oh my god, Pog, I'm soy facing. He's made an entire fucking career out of all of those same fucking neck-bearded dipshits forgetting that, like, you know, 90% of his promises fall short and never actually end up delivering. But they forget because they're way too fucking caught up on the next thing that he's promising is going to happen. It should be also known that Tesla is more than a car company. They do invest and push heavily into the battery and solar panel markets. Do they now? Maybe one day, hopefully. My boss was so
As
confused when I told him you won't be able to get an MRI with the Neuralink. It's insane.
Solar roof shingles.
Dude, I just wanted to buy an EV. Why are you bullying me? No, get the EV. Make sure that it doesn't, like, make sure the lithium battery doesn't fucking explode. Or whatever that fucking tire wobble thing that occurs apparently in a lot of Teslas doesn't happen to you. In which case you might need to sign an NDA to get that thing fixed, because technically it's not under warranty despite the fact that your car is a lemon. They don't do anything with solar. I work in that world, and if you want to talk about the shit show that is Tesla Solar, I'll tell you everything wrong with them. Oh, man. Okay, we're fucking lithium battery mining releases more carbon emissions than a gas vehicle will over its entire life. I'm not going to watch that sad Kyrgyzstak's video. It's insane if the battery catches fire. It takes up to 25k gallons of water to put out a fire in up to 3 hours. It's lithium, dude. Of course. The fuck do you mean? Let's finish this video, though.
So I just compare it to the M1, which is actually shorter than the Dugout loop. And they could actually finish it in 2 years using 19th century technology. Meanwhile, the Boring Company said they would do the dugout loop in 14 months, using Elon's fucking magic space-age technology. Hey, but they did say likely much less in parentheses there, so it's okay. You know, construction projects historically finish on time and never get delayed.
Yeah, but is it wrong to look up to him and think of him as an idol? Yes. Yes, he is a con man. Unless you idolize the fact that he was able to consistently dupe a lot of these dumbasses in Silicon Valley and make it seem like he has brilliant innovation almost always when he never had the actual product, then yes. But we do love con men here in America, so...
Delayed. And mind you, it's 14 months for a single tunnel, whereas with the M1 Metro, they had to dig a tunnel twice as wide. And don't forget that they had to build a bunch of stations as well. In contrast, the Las Vegas loop, which is unfortunately happening, took 16 months to complete, while being less than a fourth of the length of the proposed dugout loop, at 0.8 miles or 1.3 kilometers. So basically the dugout loop was a complete fucking failure on all levels. Literally, I cannot think of a single aspect which the dugout loop got right. Its layout is nonsensical, it has no capacity, is not interoperable with any other systems, it has horribly inefficient energy use, and worst of all, had this thing been built, it would have pushed out actually useful public transportation investment in the area. So what would be an actual good solution here? What could the area do instead of the dugout loop? Well, for example, build a tram. Take 2 lanes from Sunset Boulevard and turn them into dedicated tram tracks. Lord knows there is enough space for that. And this will actually not cause traffic jams, because induced demand works the other way around as well.
Wait, so I didn't realize this. We actually fucking have... We have a Vegas Hyperloop that's in the works. So instead of building high-speed rail, we're now making this dumbass fucking Elon Musk tunnel? We live in the worst country on the planet, and we deserve all the bad things that are happening to us all the time. That's it. It finished. It's a meme. We are a country. If it wasn't for this well-oiled imperial machine, we would literally just... I don't know how the fuck we're a country, dude. We're like loosely tied together by, you know, our profit motive interests aligning with one another. We're like a consortium of corporations that are constantly scamming one another and just sucking up funds in the form of tax dollars from the American workers that they also exploit to fucking generate value in the first place. It's insane, dude. What the fuck?
Well, you could put a tram stop next to the stadium and perhaps turn part of the parking lot into actual useful public space, such as a city park or something. In general, though, traffic problems will not go away by just throwing capacity at it, which is what the Boring Company does basically. Oh, your highway is congested? Well, let's just build some more lanes, but underground. Because increasing capacity worked out so well in the past. But here's the thing. Even if they would solve all the traffic problems, even if they would build enough tunnels so that there will be no more traffic jams at all, like anywhere, just zero, that would still be a very, very bad thing. Because if you provide everyone with road capacity so that they can drive, then...
I live in Las Vegas and the loop is finished and it's literally a fucking Tesla advertisement. The vehicles go at like 20 miles and have drivers. What?
Everyone will drive. Driving itself is actually very cost and time efficient on short and middle
Oh, so the Vegas loop is not from Vegas to LA. Okay, I misunderstood.
distances. And also it's much more comfortable than public transit. However, the bad part is everything else. Cars are horribly space inefficient, they make us fatter, they cost a lot of money to buy, maintain and operate, they kill a lot of people, and producing them is actually very environmentally unfriendly, especially with the batteries and all that. And even if some of these problems could be alleviated by gigantic underground tunnel systems and parking lot complexes, switching over society to cars would produce a lot of socioeconomic and environmental fallout for places that don't have these things. In Prague, they built this huge system of underground highways to alleviate the traffic problems. And guess what? It didn't solve anything. In fact, it only made the problems worse. 8 out of 10 people from around the city commute into the city by car. And the result is clogged up streets and constant traffic jams, in the places where there aren't any highway tunnels. In the end, we should focus on building urban areas where having a car is not a necessity, or even disincentivized. If we want to start combating climate change effectively, we should stop dragging 2 tons of metal and plastic with us wherever we go. And the planning of neighborhoods should enable this choice. You know, like new urbanism, walkable city, 10-minute neighborhood, all these things. It's a complex and difficult solution to a complex and difficult problem. And I don't think it's a good idea to look to rich, out-of-touch car-maker billionaires to just solve climate change with a revolutionary idea or two. Or in the case of Elon Musk, flashy CGI remakes of century-old ideas. Because if an idea sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. And if you're a fan of Elon Musk, who happened to chance upon this video, please understand that this video...
Your take on SpaceX is wrong. No other company / country has reusable rockets, stage 1 rockets. Dog, I understand. You're not understanding what I'm saying. It's not like Elon Musk is the first person to decide we should make reusable rockets. Or it's not like he's the one who fucking built the reusable rockets. You dumb fuck. He did not fund it. Okay, the government funded it. The technology was built on prior research that was, again, conducted by the government scientists. Okay? Elon, it doesn't matter if he exists or not. Okay? Like, this would already work. Without Elon Musk manning the helm. Elon Musk did it in a cave? No, he didn't. Why do you hate on everyone I like? I don't. I don't hate on everyone you like. I don't know. Give me another person and I'll tell you, maybe they're great. Thank you, the electric ant, for the 5 get this subs.
Worst thing about Elon Musk is that he has done nothing for the SM64
Doja Cat, I like Doja Cat.
Literally exposed for splicing both of his world record speed runs. When people host him, he literally doesn't even react anymore. Whatever, just venting.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I just want to see what what's his face had to say about Jeremy Clarkson actually had to say about the Tesla though, that got him like what was his Tesla Roadster review? Is there a billionaire you do like? Yes, LeBron James.
That is the end of the news, so let's...
Literally, easiest answer ever, dude. Yes. LeBron James. Greatest athlete of all time. I don't really care about the fucking racing part. Okay, what else was I gonna look at? Oh, this.
We're about to take it. Oh! Yeah. Oh.
This actually, unironically, is annoying for me. Because that was another reason why I fucking hated the Tesla. Austin would just whip it so hard, dude. That is one part of fucking... That is one part of Teslas that's like unavoidably true. It is when you whip it, you fucking whip it good. You don't have to whip it. But goddamn, those fucking Teslas can whip.
Halo cars are exciting, aren't they? It's 2021.
Dude, remember when Elon simps were trying to say that Elon literally reinvented the wheel? And they showed this wheel? And it was like, dude, there's like racing cars with wheels like that. That's not actually new.
one, and it's hard to argue Tesla's at the apex of electric cars right now, and this is the best, newest, highest end thing that they make. This is Tesla Model S Plaid. Now some of you may be wondering, wait, hold on, wait a second.
Where's the Plaid?
I thought you weren't gonna get one, Marquez. I did end up getting a Model S Plaid, but a lot of plans have changed. There's no more Plaid Plus, there's other stuff. We have plans for the other one. It's a whole thing. Don't worry though, this video is not about that. This video is about my real...
Dude, why is everybody like following closely what the fuck's going on in Afghanistan? General Sadakat and Hazara militias of Daykundi have defected to the Taliban. Like all day long, we've been like looking at memes and shit, and people have just been like telling me, "What are you in the Taliban, dude?" Like how are you following everything that's going on?
Like raw first impressions of the car that now lives at the apex of the electric car tech world right now. It's been a couple days. I got some thoughts, and I had a lot of initial impressions when it got announced. So let's get into it. So I picked up this car on Friday, so a couple days ago by the time you're watching this, and dove directly into the deep end, basically. I immediately, first thing I did was take a 300-mile road trip to Boston for an ultimate game that actually ended up getting
Wait, how many times did he have to stop to fucking refuel?
canceled, so turned around and drove 300 miles right back. So I've already spent a lot of time highway driving, city driving, autopilot, performance testing. It allowed me to really get to know this car. So fundamentally, this car is basically the same as previous Tesla Model S. It's the same general shape, which I still think is great. It's still a big four-door sedan, hatchback, tons of storage, the whole thing. But it is refreshed, and this is the Plaid version, which is the newest high-performance version with the new triple motor
it's
powertrain.
the same
So on
car.
the outside, you can see there's some smaller changes, but you'll notice them. There are even wider tires and wider fender flares to accommodate them, and the whole car itself is now slightly wider. So shout out to the 285s on the front and 295s on the back. These are some seriously big tires. And even if you didn't notice that, the easy way to tell you're looking at the newest version are, number one, the chrome delete. Yes, all the window trim now and the door trim and the handles and places where they used to be chrome are all now blacked out, except for...
All of you fucking Elon nerds deserve this DLC treatment, honestly. You do. This is basically the same shit. It's a DLC, bro. And you deserve it. You love this shit. You're like, Pog, I'm soy facing. I love this. This is the car version of buying a fucking amiibo or the new Nintendo reskin. Dude, oh my God. Is the screen bigger? No. It's okay though.
The front and back logos for whatever reason, and the updated front end with a bigger front splitter and new fog lights that match the Model 3 and Model Y. And actually 3, the Plaid logo on the back, although this one has a super limited edition 1 of 25 Plaid visual badge, which is kind of growing on me. I kind of like it. The rest, if you see them on the street, they'll just say Plaid in text. Also, the rear spoiler is a little bigger, just a little bit. Now, before I talk about any of the performance, we should just jump right into the interior for a second, because this is the main change, the main refresh. I feel like I watch probably every video on the internet about, you know, people getting deliveries of these and pointing cameras at them. So like, I was ready for the yoke. I was expecting it. We've all seen the new horizontal screen. But the one thing that I noticed as soon as I stepped in here that I didn't get from those videos is the new fit and finish, which is very much improved. Now again, the minimal interior is still here, and it's definitely not for everyone. Some people see this and they hate it, but I am very into it. But in this,
I hate it. I'm one of the haters.
refresh, the materials they've used have all gotten better throughout. The carpet is thicker and softer, the seats have better stitching, and the leather is softer and more comfortable, or the fake leather. Plus they brought ventilated seats back, so there's fans in the seats that blow cool air on you when it's hot, and there's more magnets than ever before.
Okay, I'm bored about this. I want to see... Wait, there was another thing that I was going to look at. There was another, like, Tesla thing that I wanted to see. The new Tesla Roadster in a showroom in LA is so sexy. Hasanabi, at least Vosh talked about Afghanistan, but I guess you won't because it's too dirty for you. Yeah. Do you really care about politics and human rights, or do you just want to talk about what's popular to get clout from your rich celebrity friends? Yeah, no, I mean, I'm live for 7 hours and 16 minutes. I already extensively covered what's going on in Afghanistan earlier today, but, you know, I'm sorry for not offering nonstop, round-the-clock coverage to what's going on in Afghanistan. Yeah. Okay, so what is this? This is just showing the Tesla Roadster? Okay, chill. Oh, I wanted to see what Marcus Brownlee had to say about the Taycan. Does anyone have that video? Guys, you have to stop saying Marcus Brownlee because like it's causing me to say it too.
Camera view, which has a bunch of these views that are like third-person views of the car, which is also always the white one for some reason. Lots of
I keep reading it in the chat and I'm like, Marcus Brownlee.
Controllable ambient lights throughout the cabin, including the cup holders. Huge air vents that are controllable from the touchscreen like Model 3 and Model Y, so you can choose between diffused, blowing air into the cabin, focused, which blows air focused to actually the driving positions of my hands on the steering wheel, or individual, which lets you choose exactly where you want to blow the air. This
What the fuck is that watch, dude?
little motor inside of the seatbelt that actually pulls it snug across your chest for the people in the front seats as you start to drive and get over a certain speed.
Why is there a
The
QR
lighted
code?
powered USB-C ports in the
There's a QR code on the seatbelt?
front and even two more between the rear back seats, one for each passenger. And that touchscreen in the back lets them each control their own heated seats and air conditioner airflow to the same precision as the front. This little button on the bottom inside of the steering wheel that turns on the heated steering wheel,
Nice acoustic.
and this super low-key
Okay, I don't care about this. Just drive
It's
it.
pretty next level. It's great. And now I kind of hope someday Tesla gets to this level for their interiors.
Hold on.
All right, let's
Damn.
talk batteries and charging for a second. It's an electric car. So the Taycan over here behind me has, on a good day with 100% battery, a spec of 250 miles. But two notes on that. Number one, the Taycan is significantly less efficient than the Tesla. So what that means is, you guys all know miles per gallon for cars, for gasoline. For electric cars, we measure efficiency in watt hours per mile, or how much energy it uses to go a mile. The lower the better. So one of the Tesla specialties is efficiency. All of the millions of miles of driving and research they have put into powertrain for electric cars has my average watt hours per mile number, in Phantom anyway, usually around 350. On a good day, a little under 300. With some spirited driving, it can be up over 400, right? And that's why they have a long-range version of the Model S that can go over 400 miles. But the Taycan, on the other hand, it's very sporty, obviously, but I cannot for the life of me get it under consistently 400 watt hours per mile. Typically the way I drive in normal mode, 400 to 500. And with some more spirited driving, it's easily over 550, 600, and you'll see even higher numbers. And so the 250 miles that it's rated for.
Okay, so how many miles does it go, man? Just tell me in like normal terms. What's the miles per gallon?
In the sportier modes can feel a lot more like 210, 220. So number two, that's when you got to talk about charging them. So you can slow charge either of these at home. They both have their own little charging kits.
250 is so bad, dude. God
The Porsche's
damn.
home charger is a bit bigger, and
I'm not getting. If I get a new car, I'm getting a fuel car, dude.
guess has a pretty big box that sits on the ground in your garage, but that's fine. But for longer road trips, and this varies depending on what part of the world you live in, but at least here in the US, Tesla's supercharging network is still a pretty big advantage. Now, the Taycan uses what's called the Electrify America network of chargers, and it's almost as big, and you can charge just as fast on any of those fast chargers, and that'll get you anywhere from 0 to 100% battery or somewhere near it in like 25 minutes, which is awesome. But there's just not nearly as many of those high-powered chargers in the Electrify American networks. I mean, you can just go on their sites and look at the two maps and compare for yourself. The fast chargers available to Porsche versus available to Tesla, there's a pretty big difference still. And those extra chargers, plus the longer range, go a long way towards making a more convenient driving experience for a road trip in an electric car. So that's something these cars both do differently at the moment. But I also still kind of wonder why more new electric cars coming out don't use Tesla's existing supercharger network, right? It's out there. They've said they would allow others to use it, but they don't. And there was even a story recently about some kind of hacking cars that aren't Teslas to use the superchargers. So we know it's possible. It just isn't officially supported yet. I think I'd be way more likely to drive a Taycan confidently every day if I could just pull up to a supercharger anytime. Anyway, on to driving. So, I meant what I said on Twitter. What did I say on Twitter? I said that the Porsche Taycan is the best driving electric car out right now, period. And I guess I shouldn't really be surprised because sports car driving dynamics is what Porsche does. Like, that's what they're good at. But I'm still impressed. Like, this car I'm driving right now weighs significantly over 5,000 pounds. The sedan I'm driving right now weighs more than a Ford F-150. And that's just the nature of electric cars right now. They're heavy, but yet still the steering feedback, the
Yee, brother, that's what I'm talking about. That way you can fucking, you can show people how fucking big your pee-pee is. You pull up next to a truck and he's like, oh yeah, you're fucking rolling cold. Bitch, my car is heavier than yours.
50. And that's just the nature of electric cars right now. They're heavy, but yet still
you with your coward F-150, not even heavy.
The steering feedback, the responsiveness, it feels more direct and flat and planted than anything else in its class, anything else I've driven. Yes, more than a Tesla.
It's an ICBM in a crash. Yeah, how does that work? Like, with lithium batteries, do you just, like, if you crash, you're fucking dead? Like, there's no shot you survive, right? It just...
Yes, more than a Model 3 and a Model S, but, like, it doesn't feel light. Don't get me wrong. You still can understand that this is a heavy car, but it feels so much sportier than anything else like it. Also, I shouldn't leave out this drive mode knob at the bottom here. It's pretty sweet. I always like that Tesla lets you change acceleration and suspension on the screen. You can go ludicrous mode and all that stuff. And
your phone is an ICBM then? The likelihood of the lithium battery exploding in your phone is significantly fucking less than, like, you getting into a car crash and blowing up your car. They're the safest car that exists. They're, like, impossible to put out. I guess technically the weight doesn't the weight make it better for you, though? You could fucking run through a goddamn F-150 with this thing.
There's a knob for it here, and it's a nice knob. There's something about it being a nice knob. Like, if it was a dumb plastic knob, I'd be like, why is there a knob for it? I don't need one. But something about it being a nice metal knob to change driving modes, pretty cool. So Taycan has 4 modes: range mode, normal mode, sport, and sport plus. So range mode is pretty self-explanatory. It limits you to 70 miles an hour, lowers the car to be a little more aero, and you're just trying to get as much range as possible. So then normal mode is normal driving. Sport mode, when you flip to that, it's going to stiffen the suspension a little bit and make the throttle response a little more direct. And then when you go to Sport Plus mode, it makes it an even more aggressive throttle response, even stiffer, and it also lowers the car to be its most aggressive stance. And you can feel it. And it also turns on the electric sports sound. All right, so I've pulled over now. I'm going to go to Sport Plus mode so you can hear that sound. You can turn it on for other modes, but this is the sound they give you.
I fucking hate that, dude. Like when a Tesla's backing up, I hear it all the time.
Wicked.
Sounds like a fucking UFO. You know what I mean? The fucking fake engine sounds. Ay, ay, ay, ay, ay. It's so.
Arjan turning into a car guy? Hasboggers. Almost 2 years later. Hi.
Just say you hate the future and move on.
Kind of like a spaceship type of thing, I guess. And I swear I can hear it shifting gears when it's in this like exaggerated sound mode. I don't know if that sound is added at a certain speed to make you think, oh, it's kind of like a normal car, I'm changing gears. But the Taycan does have 2-speed gearbox, which most other electric cars don't have, and that lets you keep accelerating harder at higher speeds. But I don't know if that's like really when it's shifting, but here, I'll do it again so you can hear it. So, okay, we're at 0. 10, 20, 30, 40. Did you hear that? Did you catch that? Like that little, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually when it's changing gears. I just thought that was fascinating. And there's a whole bunch more fascinating stuff in this car that I haven't even gotten to dive into. The quad LED headlights, the door handles that motorize open and closed, the tiny front trunk that can maybe fit 2 backpacks, the fact that there's a backup camera, and this little nub here next to it is the backup camera cleaner. I don't think I've ever seen that before in a car. The fact that pressing the brakes in this car doesn't actually squeeze the brakes right away. It actually starts off using regen with the motors up until a certain threshold, then it adds physical brakes, mixing them together. Like the fact that
Imagine getting out of your partner's house after a fight, get into your car. That's true, though. It is. I'm angry right now. I'm pulling out in anger. Also, Taycan's got Taycan's literally a squirter. So sold.
that not quite all of this battery is available to the user, and they can never fully charge the 93 kilowatt hours.
The Tesla full self-driving beta, here's the city drive. Listen, dude, I saw that, okay? There's a fucking Tesla self-driving video I saw the other day on the internet, and that shit was wobbly as hell, dude. It was like fucking trying to, for some weird reason, drive into the other side of the street. I'm not touching that shit ever, okay? It sounds